I think coaching is going to be pretty huge in this game, just with how much like diversity goes into the hero play, like that's where strategy and everything like that. I think coaching will have a huge role in it. I think it still will vary from team to team how much like a coach will help them. Like if you have a bunch of like players who don't really like respect the coach or aren't listening to what they say, then obviously it's not going to work out properly. But like for us personally, we brought in Raptors as our coach after we failed to qualify for E-League when we were like in a slump. And since then, it's helped us get like a level of consistency that we didn't have before, and it has helped us like try out different strategies that we might not have thought of. So I don't think a coach should have like an active role. Like a coach shouldn't be able to call like while the game's going on. But I think like between maps, they should be able to like talk with the team and like give them like information like that way. I think that would be like a good way to like utilize coaching.
Like I feel like without Rufflegator, we're like really lost. So like I really appreciate having Rufflegator as a coach. And I feel like we, at least in our team, like we really listen to Rufflegator's opinions. He always have like good, he help us with strategies, he help us with like team issues, communication, like everything. He watches us every single WOD we're playing, recording everything. So everything he sees, like we always like try to work it out, and he's always like there. You can always go and talk to him if you have any issues and so on. So like it's helping out a lot. And I feel like teams without coaches, like they're falling behind. Like they need a coach. Like it's really needed in Overwatch.
The impact of a coach is really depending on the team and what the team needs. Maybe the team doesn't have a set schedule or a real team captain that leads the team to victory, and the coach will have to take up that role where he's the person to guide everyone. Or maybe people just need that we have a good, we have good players, we have a captain, we have these personalities on the team that we need to succeed, and we would just want an analyst that would help us improve our play and like just watch quietly in the background and then point out things that we can improve on, maybe help out on stages like get us water or something like the people usually do. And some teams might need this super decisive coach that just has all the power in the team, and then some people just need the small addition to help them improve.
I mean, coaches should always have absolute power. It's the role of a coach, right? I mean, it's not necessarily about like how much power should a coach have or how useful they are. Coaches are like the strategy mind of the team. They're the ones who dictate everything you're going to do, at least in my mind. And so it's more about, you know, the question of should a coach, like how much power should a coach have? I mean, the coach should probably have absolute power because generally they will know better than the players. And that's like a fact that most players don't actually like for the most part, or they just refuse to believe. But generally, so let's talk about Overwatch right now. We're in like the early stages of Overwatch, so coaches are pretty new, and it's perfectly possible that, you know, top level players have more knowledge than a coach, and that's, you know, it's fine, it's whatever. But okay, 4 months of spectating your scrims and analyzing the game, that's your coach's job that he's done for 8 hours a day, while you've been sitting there practicing mechanics and solo queue and scrims for 8 hours a day. Who do you think is going to have the better game knowledge of strategy 4 or 5 months later? The coach will. And so that's the future of Overwatch, are these coaches and support staff will tell the players, like, hey, they will play like team compositions to the player's strengths. They will like map out potential counters and then counter comps and things like that. Support staff is absolutely the future of Overwatch.
I think the coach's power is like, we're so used to playing in like little tight-knit teams that you don't really listen to a coach, and he never had power of the team. So I think the game does need to transition to a point where a coach does have the final say, maybe not in game, but like control over the team. Because as soon as you start having this like group form of democracy, it can fall apart a lot, and you see that happen within teams. Breaking apart and stuff like that. If you had like a coach who controlled the entire team, then you wouldn't have these teams just falling apart as much, because it would be the coach's like ultimate decision to control those players, and they wouldn't feel as hard done by.
I think coaches can be good, but like I think it's quite an early stage right now. I think a coach has to have experience in the game, like on a competitive field, in the game itself, like a pro level, because it gets really hard for like a coach to say like what's good, what meta we should run, what heroes we should run. It's like really hard for like a non-pro player to say that. That's why I think like coach is gonna be like really important, like maybe 6 months from here. But right now, I mean, yeah, I think they could be useful, but it's really hard. Like you need a good fit, you know?
One of the biggest steps that made us from going amateur to going pro is picking up a coach. And I think that having that you know, second opinion on a lot of things, that outside opinion really helps a team grow. I think one of the biggest, you know, parts of getting a good coach is just someone who can do someone that can do conflict resolution, and just make sure that like when fights happen or just arguments, discussions, that like, you know, it gets handled well. And I think once you get someone that can do that, then you have someone who can then learn the game and understand it at a high level, and that's how you get a really strong coach that actually helps a team. I think having a coach that has actual power and has like everyone has to respect the coach, I think that's really big to having a very effective one.